Oh, let's go! I love this gun. I love this gun. Hey guys, X here. I have yet another awesome weapon video for you. This is on my Rapp LMG, my own personal build. I'm going to go over attachments and tuning. But first I want to start off in true game data and show you a comparison against the other top competing LMGs, which is going to be the Xcision and the Raal. And you'll see here that this thing dominates with headshots. I felt it on the battlefield, but I couldn't believe it until I built it in true game data. I did not realize that the Raal did not have that good of a headshot multiplier, which makes sense because its chest shots do so much damage. But when you, put headshots into the mix, this gun is unstoppable, guys. Its fire rate is so high, its ADS speed is great, its movement speed is faster than these two, its reload speed beats these two, and its recoil is almost non-existent with the build I'm about to go over. It's so good, it's unbelievable. And even if we switch to different target locations, you'll see within that 40 distance, which is probably what I would consider a realistic Ashika Island distance, you're almost always beating everything here. I mean, it's beating it, it's beating it, it's beating it, it's beating it, it's beating it. It's just, it's constantly doing better than the other guns. Now, at a further distance, it does fall off. But those distances don't really matter in Ashika Island because, from my testing and my personal experience, I feel like you're usually caught up in close to medium range quarter fights. And that's really going to be within 40 meters, maybe sometimes 60. But in, a realistic situation, you're probably not going to be having the time or presence to shoot people past 100 meters unless you're on the big map. And on the big map, I wouldn't use this gun. But on Ashika Island, I totally would. And in regards to the comparison, just so you guys know how I'm comparing these guns, I did build them all exactly the same in regards to meta attachments. They're all meta builds here, guys. And then in regards to the graphs on the bottom, you'll see here that we have faster movement speed, much faster reload time, much faster fire rate, the same mag size as the Raal, but it's faster and everything else, which is great. And the ADS time beats the Raal as well. Slightly slower than the Xcision, but anything below 650, in my opinion, is pretty good. Anything above that does feel noticeably slower. The crazy thing is that the Raal at 718 over 648, you're probably like, well, that's like 60, 70 milliseconds slower. Are you really going to feel that? I think you truly do, especially at lower frame rates. If you're playing at 60, maybe 220, you're going to feel that. If you're playing at 144, 165, 240, maybe not as much because, your frame latency is going to be a lot quicker. But I think you feel it, and I think the Raal feels miserably slow, so I am much happier with 648 versus 718. And, another thing to notice, too, is the sprint to fire speed on the Raal is super slow. So on Ashika Island, I would definitely not recommend this gun. I would recommend the Rapp or the Xcision, but the Rapp, I think, is just the ultimate choice. So let's go into firing range here, and let me show you how this gun functions. First, I'm going to show you the recoil pattern on this gun, which is mainly a vertical to a right horizontal shift. And I went over this in the TAC 56 build that I released last time. You can stop the gun when that horizontal shift takes place to correct yourself to only have vertical. But this gun, it's so easy to control with just the analog stick that I don't think you're really going to have an issue doing it. And even if you're a mouse and keyboard player, I did test it on that too. The recoil, oh my god, it's even easier. It's practically zero on that, which is nuts. So what I'll do is I'm going to run 180 ADS and fire, and you'll see how easy I can control this gun, guys. Absolutely insane. It just shoots exactly where you want it to shoot, guys. It's nutty. It's easy, it beams, it's fast. The fire rate, the benefit of faster fire rates, ladies and gentlemen, is you can correct your shots a lot easier. With the Raal, it shoots so slow, the ba 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 ba, that you have to constantly correct yourself if you go off course, and that can be a little bit more difficult. And the gap between your bullets is also wider, so if you're tracking somebody and you miss a shot, it can be hard to get back on traction with that. So I'll show you shooting down range here, how easy this thing is to shoot. It's super easy. It beams. And you'll see that was with 25 bullets. And if you remember in my TAC video, I said if something kills within 25 bullets, it's top tier. It's meta. This thing just shredded in 25 bullets, and I barely miss anything. I mean, with a gun with 800 shots, per minute, I have literally a 44% accuracy right now, guys. That's insane. That means that I hit literally pretty much half of the bullets in a gun shooting that fast. That's nutty. That's super high accuracy. And one of those shots, I believe, was even a headshot, which is nice because that vertical recoil kind of goes up, which is great. So, you know, you can see this gun beams, it shoots easy. So let's get into the attachments and let me show you guys why this thing is so good and, you know, why it beams the way it does. So in terms of the optic, you know, I always go with the aim op. I think the aim op is personally, it's my preference. I said last time you guys can change that if you guys want, but I think it has the best visual recoil. And on this, we're going to max out ADS and FAR. We're going to go with the rear grip, the Lockman TCG 10. This thing gives you recoil with barely any cons. Aiming stability does not matter, guys, when you're already aiming down sights and shooting. So do not worry about that stat. And we have plus 0.87 on the left and plus 0.16 on the bottom. Then we're going to go with the high velocity because obviously 44% bullet velocity is super good. 6.39 on the bottom and 0.47 on the left. Then the BO52 grip, we're going to go 0.54 on the left and 0.14 on the bottom. And then for the ZRLR Talon 5, best in class, 1.4 on the left and 0.81 on the bottom. And one thing I noticed that's different about my build than a lot of other content creators or other people that I've played with is that BO52 grip is insane, guys. It's insane. You'll see some people recommending things like the X10, the Agency, the Commando, or the FTAC. And, you know, I went over this before in the past, but I do like to reiterate it from time to time. You do not need hipfire accuracy on these guns. You are getting a pro that is useless and you are sacrificing other things for it. So for example, recoil stabilization is on the bottom of this FTAC, which means it's actually the least prioritized pro on this attachment. So it's prioritizing hipfire accuracy over recoil. And if you are hipfiring this gun, you're probably not doing something right in a close quarter fight. You should be using your SMG realistically. So to prioritize recoil, the BO52 grip, which I believe is one of the best things in the game right now, gives you recoil, steadiness, and stabilization all within that one tuning number, which is fantastic. And even though the tuning number does say recoil stabilization, it is actually affecting both of those. So you're getting steadiness and stabilization at the cost of not too much. You know, you don't need to worry about a lot of these stats when you're kind of shooting down a range, which is great. So definitely super good attachment, kind of makes, you know, kind of makes or breaks guns in my opinion. I think it breaks weapons right now. That's how good it is. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. You know, you saw in the video in the beginning how insane this gun is. I jumped into Ashika Island duos as a solo, no fill, and I ended up winning that game. I got double-digit kills in that thing. This Rapp just literally led me to victory. It's incredible. So I highly, highly recommend you guys give this thing a go. You guys are going to really love this gun. Anyway, that's it. You know, if you guys do like this video, please comment on it. Please let me know if you want to see anything different, you know, in the future. And also follow me on my socials if you can. Subscribe to me here on YouTube if you guys like what I'm doing. And follow me over at XcisionTV on Twitch and Xcision Official on Twitter. Those will be linked in the video description, guys. And as always, take it easy and peace out.